medical nightmare, what a Saskatoon woman says she experienced while receiving care in the hallway. A Saskatchewan showcase how the tourism industry is talking up what to do in the province. And scenes of what's supposed to be Saskatoon, why some t-shirts have missed the mark.
This is CTV News with Chantel Saunders.
Good evening. We begin tonight with concern about the healthcare system. A woman who was recently cared for in the hallway at Royal University Hospital is sharing her experience. As Hallie Mandrick reports, she calls part of what she saw disgusting.
The days that Anne Fournier says she spent in the hallway of Saskatoon's Royal University Hospital awaiting care for an inflamed small intestine was a troubling experience.
I had to watch as two grown men had to urinate next to me with portable urinals, in full view of us in the hallway and anybody else who happened to be walking past. It was disgusting and not at all what I imagined to see when getting healthcare in Saskatchewan.
The Saskatoon resident says she went to the emergency room after vomiting blood and spent the next 3 days in a bed located in a hallway adjacent to the emergency room, adding that she sent an email to Saskatchewan's Minister of Health expressing her concerns and had not heard back.
It's got so much worse and nothing seems to be done about it. It's like, it'll rectify itself, but that's not how it works. It can't be rectified unless something's done. We need to retain members of staff. We need to be attracting medical people.
In a statement to CTV News, Minister of Health Jeremy Cockrell said, quote, "Extended stays in hospital hallways are not the experience we want for any Saskatchewan patient. As Health Minister, I regularly have opportunities to visit healthcare facilities, including emergency departments across our province. Our government is listening to patients and healthcare workers, and their feedback informed our Patients First healthcare plan, which includes detailed next steps for improving access to hospital emergency and urgent care." Adding that he plans to correspond directly with Fournier regarding her email. The president of the Saskatchewan Union of Nurses says situations like this one are increasingly common and contributing to retention issues.
We're putting patients in an unsafe situation, but we're also putting nurses in a really bad situation to have to respond with not the appropriate resources and having to, really fight between morals of doing what is right and giving people the dignity they deserve with minimal resources that they have.
The province says it's working to expand inpatient capacity at Saskatoon hospitals by 146 beds and also points to the urgent care centre, which is currently under construction. Hallie Mandrick, CTV News, Saskatoon.
A man has been arrested after a 70-year-old woman was stabbed in downtown Saskatoon. Saskatoon police say they were called to 5th Avenue North and 24th Street East just before 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon. The victim said she was stabbed by someone she didn't know who tried to take her bag. She was taken to hospital for treatment. A 26-year-old man is facing charges of aggravated assaults and robbery. RCMP have charged one person in connection to a break-and-enter and arson at a Saskatchewan high school. Officers were called to the school on the Onion Lake Cree Nation on June 27th, where they were told someone had broken in. While searching the school, they found evidence of a fire and that it was suspicious. No one was in the building at the time. A 22-year-old man from Onion Lake Cree Nation is facing a string of charges, including arson, break-and-enter, theft, and mischief. He made his first court appearance earlier this week. Prince Albert police say the death of a 60-year-old man earlier this week is not criminal. He was found in a home in the 300 block of 32nd Street West Monday afternoon. An autopsy was scheduled for yesterday, and investigators were looking into the death. Police now say foul play was not a factor and that his death has been deemed as natural causes. A Saskatoon business has been fined for unlawfully selling bear spray. The city says a Saskatoon court imposed a $7,000 penalty on a business in the 500 block of 20th Street West that was convicted of selling the spray and not recording the information of the buyer as required. This is the first fine issued under an updated Saskatoon bylaw that mandates businesses require a buyer to be 18 and older and provide 2 pieces of government-issued identification, among other measures. The information must be kept on hand for the city. The changes to the bylaw were made last year in an effort to curb the use of bear spray as a weapon. A man found guilty in the death of another man 20 years ago has requested his conviction be appealed. The now 37-year-old man was handed the maximum 7-year youth sentence for second-degree murder in the death of Misha Pavlik. Pavlik was fatally stabbed at a graduation party near Regina Beach on May 21, 2006. The notice of appeal states the trial judge erred in presenting evidence from the defense in a fair and balanced manner, did not properly instruct the jury regarding evidence presented by two witnesses, along with failing to give counsel sufficient time for review and sentencing submissions before the jury charge was delivered. If the appeal is granted, the man will be tried by a judge, not a judge and jury. A date has not been set. Regina's former police chief is appealing his termination after being removed for misconduct allegations last year. The Saskatchewan Police Commission is set to hear the appeal between Farouk Sheikh, the Regina Police Service, and the Regina Board of Police Commissioners in the fall. Sheikh was terminated with cause in October of 2025 after an investigation into misconduct allegations found he acted in a manner unbecoming of a chief of police and in a way dishonorable to the Regina Police Service. He had served in the role for just under 2 years. The hearing with the Saskatchewan Police Commission is set to begin September 14th in Regina. Well, Jeff, the stretch of warm days is continuing.
Yes, the stretch of warm days is continuing. We've got ourselves some really hot conditions as we make our way into the weekend. We'll have a full weather report for you later on.
The Saskatchewan government says plans to build an oil pipeline from Alberta to Ontario is positive for our province and for Canada. The 3,300-kilometer crude oil line would pass through Saskatchewan, creating potential for pipe manufacturing jobs in our province. Wayne Mantika has more.
Canada's steel industry could be a major benefactor if the Northern Shield pipeline proposal goes ahead. Currently, Regina's steel plant is the only one in Canada capable of producing large-diameter pipe. The multi-billion-dollar proposal was announced earlier this week by the premiers of Alberta and Ontario.
By connecting Alberta's energy with Canadian refineries and European markets, we can create jobs, grow our economy, and make the most out of the world-class resources that we've been blessed with.
The pipeline would have a capacity to move 500,000 barrels of crude oil per day from Hardisty, Alberta, to refineries in Sarnia, Ontario, crossing through Saskatchewan and Manitoba along the way. So far, the project does not have private sector backing.
We'll reach out to private sector, but we won't hesitate to do what the government in Canada and Alberta is doing.
Saskatchewan welcomes the proposal. In a statement, it said, the government of Saskatchewan will continue to support major projects that strengthen our energy security and foster economic growth across Canada. Premier Scott Moe met with premiers in Calgary, but was not present at the announcement.
My first thought was it's conspicuous the absence of our premier in this announcement.
While Saskatchewan is on board with the pipeline proposal, Manitoba's NDP government is not. It's concerned that Indigenous groups were not consulted first. Ontario is working with Indigenous groups to win their support. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Regina.
On Saturday, the Canadian Snowbirds are set to take to the skies for their annual hometown air show, which will be the last for a while. The federal government is grounding the team as it sources new aircraft. As Donovan Mace explains, it's prompted one woman to lead the charge, pleading for Ottawa to rethink its decision.
Born and raised on a farm just south of 15-wing Moose Jaw, Janet Kitts would watch and wonder the Canadian Forces Snowbirds practices as the team flew over her family's home.
To me, they're more than an air demonstration squadron.
But after learning in May the team would be grounded at the end of this air show season, she began researching the best way to keep that from happening.
They do these amazing performances, and when you're watching, you're just getting this amazing overwhelming sense of pride that they represent Canada.
Kits has since started a petition to the federal government aiming to have the Ministry of Defence rethink its decision to ground the team. Her letter to the House of Commons requests Ottawa continues the Snowbirds operations, even as it searches for new aircraft for the team.
They're a special team to Canada. They're Canada's team. It just feels like that Canadians don't want to lose that in the transition period.
Hundreds of Canadians from coast to coast to coast have already supported her petition.
This is something that's ours. We're not going to let it go.
It caught the eye of local MP Fraser Tolmie, who was quick to get behind the campaign.
That shows the passion of our community. Jana is someone, a resident within our community and recognizes the importance of the Snowbirds, not just in the city of Moose Jaw or the province of Saskatchewan, but across Canada.
And as the Snowbirds ready for their annual hometown show at 15 Wing Moose Jaw Saturday, Kit's hopeful it's not the last.
If we were able to see them continue in some capacity, it just really inspires a person to keep voicing concerns on matters that they're passionate about, and I think it just gives us a lot of hope.
After garnering enough signatures to be presented to the House of Commons, Tolmie expects to read Kit's petition when Parliament resumes this fall. Donovan May, CTV News, Moose Jaw.
Members of Saskatchewan's tourism sector gathered in Saskatoon today to showcase summer events and attractions across the province, encouraging residents and visitors to make the most of the season. CTV's Stacey Hine has those details.
In Saskatchewan, summer is everything.
That's why tourism organizations from across the province are encouraging residents and visitors to get out and explore this summer, including the Saskatchewan Science Centre's new exhibit, Journey to Space.
You get the opportunity as a visitor to come and explore and see what it's like to actually live in space on the International Space Station. You might actually even meet Jeremy Hansen in a flat cardboard cutout kind of way, but he's there.
Ithaca is a kingdom waiting for a king.
That trailer is for Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, which will play at the Science Centre's IMAX Theatre next week. The centre is one of just 41 theatres worldwide screening the film. Wanuskewin Heritage Park is also highlighting its summer activities. Co-executive director Andrew McDonald says the site has been a gathering place for First Nations across the Northern Plains for thousands of years. To help more people experience its history and culture, the park is offering admission by donation every Sunday in August.
So we're really blessed to be working with a lot of fantastic people within the community who help us to achieve our mandate of showcasing Northern Plains Indigenous cultures.
The Western Development Museum is also hosting a range of events throughout the summer. Creative Saskatchewan's summer lineup includes a songwriters showcase at Country Thunder in Craven this weekend, where artists will take to the stage each afternoon to perform their songs and share the stories behind them. From museums and music to more than 40 summer festivals across the province, tourism organizations say there's no shortage of ways to make the most of a Saskatchewan summer. Stacey Hine, CTV News, Saskatoon.
And another event people can take in, of course, is the TD Sask Jazz Festival, bringing music to Saskatoon's riverbank this weekend with free performances, drawing crowds of all ages. As Carla Shinkrick reports, organizers say the festival is about more than entertainment. It's also about celebrating the roots of modern music.
The sound of live music filled KW Nassar Plaza Wednesday afternoon as festival goers gathered along the riverbank for one of the TD Saskatchewan Jazz Festival's free performances. Organizers say offering free music helps make the festival accessible while introducing more people to jazz and its lasting influence on music today.
Jazz and the blues are the foundational genres of all contemporary music.
The festival has adopted a new saying to reflect that.
And it's pretty loud, no wrong notes. And it is really speaking to what jazz is. Jazz is an experimental genre. It's about rebellion. It was punk rock before there was punk rock.
That message is resonating with audiences, many taking advantage of the sunshine, the scenery, and the chance to experience live music together.
I think it's a good festival for free music, for people as well in general to get to know culture and different styles of music.
These guys are from the out of province, so they're just here to enjoy Saskatoon. Thought we'd catch some music.
Getting a family get together, and the jazz festival's on, so we're here downtown enjoying it.
This was Tuesday night's show. The indie band Modest Mouse, a record-breaking crowd.
It's the highest attendance of a festival show in the history of the festival. We had close to 4,500 people in the park.
Organizers hope patrons of all ages leave with a new appreciation for the music that helped shape countless genres.
We do like music, so yeah.
Bruce Coburn is the final ticketed show of the festival, which wraps up Saturday with a showcase of local talent. Carla Shinkaruk, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Saskatchewan RCMP officers will be wearing a new uniform in the coming weeks. Starting this month, frontline officers will wear new Navy shirts as part of efforts to modernize the RCMP uniform. The service says people may still see officers wearing gray uniform shirts as the switch happens. The new uniforms were announced last fall. Some Saskatoon shirts on sale at Walmart are leaving some shoppers doing a double take. As Laura Woodward explains, they've missed the mark in detailing features of our city.
These shirts and sweaters sold at Walmart show off Saskatoon's skyline. But there's one pretty big problem. Those mountains in the background, definitely not part of the Prairie City.
It's clearly AI. You can just kind of tell. Why wouldn't you just make that on your own when it's super simple and something you could easily make by just taking a picture?
They have a goose in there, a Canadian goose. I guess that's a good try, hey?
I don't like it. To be perfectly honest.
They should probably have if they're going to sell something like that, maybe have a local designer instead of AI, because it looks not good.
Here's our pterodactyl-like bird.
Over at Discover Saskatoon, the design is getting a few laughs. While CTV News could not confirm exactly how the image was made, the tourism group says if you're going to sell Saskatoon merch, it should be created by a local artist who actually knows what the city looks like.
It's great that like a store like Walmart wants to put, representations of cities and, where the city they happen to be in their stores. It's just, let's be a bit more accurate.
Tech expert Carmi Levy says AI-generated mistakes are everywhere online, but they're increasingly making their way into the physical world.
The image on this T-shirt is certainly something that doesn't exist in real life, and it's a perfect example of how AI can get things spectacularly wrong, especially when the humans who are using it have no idea what they're talking about.
The shirts are manufactured by Gildan. The company tells CTV News it only supplies the blank apparel and had no role in creating or printing the image.
This happens when quality control takes a day off.
We reached out to Walmart asking how the design made it onto store shelves, but did not hear back by deadline. Laura Woodward, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Still to come, the mixed messages from the U.S. president. Also, what he's been saying about the ceasefire in the Middle East, but also about NATO allies. You're watching CTV News Live from downtown Saskatoon. Thanks for staying with us. It was a day of tough talk and mixed messages over Iran at the NATO summit for the U.S. President Donald Trump, blaming Iran's leaders, calling them cuckoo and scum for violating the shaky ceasefire. CTV's Joy Melvin has that story.
The U.S. president said he's done. At the NATO summit, Donald Trump declared the fragile ceasefire with Iran is no more.
I think it's over. I don't want to deal with them anymore. They're scum. They're led by sick people. And they're vicious, violent people. And if they had a nuclear weapon, they'd use it.
After another round of tit-for-tat strikes, the U.S. military blasted 80 targets in Iran. Retaliation, it says, for Iran's attacks on commercial oil tankers violating the ceasefire. In response, Tehran said it struck American bases in the Gulf, and Trump is furious.
We hit them very hard last night. Very, very hard. Probably hit them hard again tonight. I'll give them a little warning. We may take over Cargill. There's not a thing they can do about it.
Canada's Prime Minister felt the U.S. strikes were justified.
The United States has responded as appropriate to
look to stop this behavior and put in place at least conditions to reestablish the ceasefire.
But as mourning continues for Iran's supreme leader, state media accused the president of bullying. One official warned Trump is, quote, driving the region toward fire. But by the afternoon, Trump, who once praised Iran's leadership as smart and rational, said,
I think they're a little loco, they're a little crazy. I got to know them, and I'm not sure I want to make a deal with them. We can play games, but I'm not sure I want to make a deal. Let's just finish the job.
Unclear if this is a return to full-scale war. The president declared he's Iran's #1 target, calling ceasefire talks a waste of time, but said his negotiating team could still go ahead. Joy Malvin, CTV News, Washington.
World leaders, including Canada's Prime Minister, have wrapped up 2 days of talks in Turkey with unexpected praise from Donald Trump. CTV's Graham Richardson explains that.
Even as Canada reviews how many American F-35s it will buy, it's getting ready to arm the jets. An $800 million contract to a German firm for joint strike missiles on the F-35s. Part of Canada's boost to defense spending.
The capacities are being built, and you've seen recent announcements. There's more announcements today from Canada in terms of our procurement.
From Canada, it's new submarines, surveillance aircraft like GlobalEye, and the fighter jets, all boosting spending as Americans have demanded for many years. Carney says U.S. President Donald Trump is pushing NATO to change.
It's not just he's winning the argument, he's won the argument. Countries recognize that they need to take more responsibility, see the direct threats.
In the space of just a few hours, Donald Trump blasted Spain, threatening to cut off all trade with the United States.
And Spain is a wasted cause. We don't want to do any trade business with Spain anymore.
A short time later, it was all about unity with NATO allies.
The unity in that room was incredible. Really a love. It was sort of pretty wild.
NATO's Secretary General has demanded a clear and credible plan for allies to spend 5% of GDP on defense by 2035. He also credits the American shift.
President Trump has been able to finally get done what since Eisenhower American presidents tried to do, which was to equalize defense spending between Europe and the United States.
Carney insists Canada is well on its way.
By the NATO definition, before the end of this decade, we are spending 4%.
So as NATO grapples with Donald Trump's mood, the hard part will be trying to fill the gap the Americans are leading. NATO and Canada say that's what all this spending is about, and they're up to the task. Graham Richardson, CTV News, Ankara.
A wildfire burning in BC's Fraser Canyon has forced more people from their homes and closed a section of the Trans-Canada Highway.
We're always preparing for the worst and hoping for the best. It's why we're asking British Columbians all across the province, but in particular in the areas around Boston Bar and the vicinity of this fire, to have your go bags ready and to be fire smart.
The 25 square kilometer Brunswick Creek wildfire is burning near the community of Boston Bar, about 2.5 hours northeast of Vancouver. More than 160 properties are under evacuation orders as crews battle the flames. The stretch of Highway 1 north of Boston Bar remains closed after flames spread to both sides of the Trans-Canada. WestJet flight attendants have started voting on a strike mandate. The main issue is how cabin crews are paid. Flight attendants say they perform an average of 35 hours of unpaid work each month. More than 4,000 union employees have until July 15th to cast their vote. Talks between the union and the airline continue in Calgary until Friday. The earliest a strike or lockout could happen is August 2nd. Flight attendants are planning a day of action at the Calgary airport on Tuesday. CTV News reached out to WestJet, but have yet to receive a response.
Hi, Natalie here from Channel Feeder. We're just putting the finishing touches on our production of Too Close to Home by Allison Moritz. It's a story about learning to accept the imperfections life throws at you, reconnecting with family, and creating second chances. Come join us July 9th to 19th at the Station Arts Center. Go to channeltheater.com for tickets. So Jeff, what's the weather going to be like?
Well, Natalie, it looks like things are going to be quite sunny and quite warm. I know you preview tomorrow night, and of course, opening night is Friday, so we'll talk about another opening, another show. Friday, 7:30 is when the show opens. The curtain goes up at 7:30, as I mentioned. Of course, it's happening in Rostern. 29 degrees for a daytime high, so of course, you'll be in the lovely confines of the Station Arts Center when you're watching the play. It'll be a little cooler than that outside. Once again, channeltheater.com is where you can get your tickets and find out more. All right, now let's take a look at our numbers. Currently, it is 24 degrees in Saskatoon and the Battlefords. More sunshine in the Battlefords region right now. 23 in Prince Albert. And as you can see, a bit on the breezy side in Saskatoon, not so much in Prince Albert, and a moderate wind in the Battlefords. Our almanac for Saskatoon, well, a seasonal day, 25 degrees. 24.5, but I rounded it up. So 25 degrees today. That's seasonal for this time of July. 37, the record warm temperature from 1943. The record cold temperature, 4 from 1893. And the sun is going to go down at 9:27.
Coming up, the treasure trove up for offers. The Alberta couple hoping to pass on a piece of the past to someone new.
Get ready to cast a line and do it for free. Thursday on Your Morning, our angling expert Jason Matady with everything you need to know ahead of the next free fishing weekend in Saskatchewan.
All right, here we go, and taking a look through the live lens of Skycam, and as you can see, just a few clouds out there, maybe a bit on the hazy side, heat haze, because it is warm out there, and the potential for showers and thunderstorms is certainly there. We're going to talk about that in a bit more detail, because there are some watches and warnings, some tornado watches as well. But we're keeping our eye on this system in Alberta. It's sliding across the border here, and as it makes its way into Saskatchewan, it's going to start sort of elongating down along a trough line, and that's where we see the potential for the storms to be triggered and showing up. So we'll talk about that in a second or two here. Just to recap the temperatures, 24 degrees in Saskatoon and the Battlefords, and 23 in Prince Albert, kind of breezy in Toontown. Our hotspot in the province, Maple Creek at big old 30 degrees there. So a warm one down in the southwest, south end at 6. That is the cold spot for today. Around the province we go, starting off with Lloydminster in at 23. Ditto that for Moose Jaw and Regina. 25 in Swift Current, 22 in Moose Jaw, or rather in Estevan, and 24 in Yorkton. Into central parts of the province, not much of a temperature range here, from 22 degrees, that's in Spiritwood, up to 25 in Hudson Bay and 26 in Kindersley, so 4-degree range there. And making our way into northern areas, just about everyone, in fact, everyone on this part of our map is into the 20s, just 20 degrees in Collins Bay and South End, but it does get up to 27, and that is in La Ronge. And down south, 29 big degrees, so it's still quite hot in Maple Creek, 25 in Outlook in East End, 24 in Melville, a lot of other places hanging around that 22-degree mark. All right, now let's take a look at that future cast. So here's what I'm talking about. You can certainly see as that system moves into Saskatchewan, it sort of stretches out and moves southward, and you can certainly see some of the more intense areas sliding through Prince Albert and Regina, so and Saskatoon as well. So winds not really strong. They will be later in the afternoon, but not to start off with. Just wanted to point out we do have some severe thunderstorm warnings. Those are areas north of Meadow Lake, up towards Peter Pond Lake, and areas north of that. So then we also have that area etched in red. That's a tornado watch right now, not a tornado warning. And there are some severe thunderstorm watch boxes out there. So keep that in mind, and keep track of those kind of things on your app or on our website. We've got ourselves some showers expected tomorrow in Stony Rapids and Key Lake. Temperatures in the low 20s for northern Saskatchewan. A similar temperature pattern for Meadow Lake and Spiritwood, but warmer conditions for Kindersley and Rosetown on Thursday rather. 28 degrees for Maple Creek, 27 in Leader, 25 for both Outlook and Swift Current on Thursday under mainly cloudy skies. And cloudy conditions prevail for the most part in the southeast, but Yorkton has a chance of some showers and a thunderstorm, 26 degrees for a high, and temperatures in the I'll say the low to mid 20s for east central Saskatchewan. Hudson Bay could see a shower or two or a thunderstorm. Showers and thunderstorms expected tonight in the Battlefords, 13 degrees, 23 tomorrow. And then as we take a look at the 7-day outlook, getting up to 30 on Saturday and Sunday. Prince Albert area going to cool off to 14 tonight, but 24 tomorrow. And then we have ourselves 29 degrees on Saturday and Sunday. And finally for Saskatoon, yes, showers and thunderstorms are anticipated tonight, basically after midnight or thereabouts, less windy conditions. And then tomorrow, 25 degrees, so pretty much a seasonal situation, and getting up to 32 on Saturday and Sunday. Horror film Obsession is now the highest grossing movie with a budget under $1 million US. The movie has made more than $400 million at the global box office, and it's become the 10th horror film in history to pass that mark. Obsession made its debut at the Toronto International Film Festival last September before being released widely in May. The Pit is leading all shows with 25 Emmy nominations, including nods for Toronto's Brittany Allen and Canadian creator Scott R. Gemmell. Hacks topped the comedy category with 24 nominations in its final season. This year's Emmys celebrating excellence in television will be hosted by Law & Order star, SUV star Mariska Hargitay, and it airs on Monday, September 14th.
I'm the fastest. I'm the strongest. I can't be beat.
A new 8-part series will focus on the life and legend of Muhammad Ali, produced by High Widow Lonnie and backed by Michael B. Jordan and Jay-Z's Rock Nation. The show covers the Cassius Clay years between his Olympic gold medal win in 1960 and to his historic defeat of Sonny Liston in 1964. The Greatest will debut on Prime in November.
All right, time for Pick of the Day. What do you have?
Well, a triple hit, and we're going to start off with some birdies. Let's take a look at this one. Here we go. Yes, this comes to us from Tim. Tim tells us these birds started showing up on his ceiling fan and then came back and started making a nest on some horns by his back door. And he says he thinks they're hiding from the starlings, which are kind of nasty birds. And he said these don't harm anyone. They're kind of harmless, but he wonders how much he should charge them for rent. So thank you, Tim, for sharing that image. And our next one comes to us from Gilles, and Gilles says, he says, I wonder if it would be nice to live in a place like this. Hey, I already do. So yes, Gilles, thank you for sharing that image. It's a lovely shot there. And finally, look at this. Holly says she saw this at one of the Canadian Tire locations here in Saskatoon, and it's the first time she's ever seen one. So yes, I don't think she meant the Canadian Tire location. I think she meant this Monarch. So Holly, thank you for sharing that image. And if you'd like to share an image with us, you can do so by sending it to cfqcnews@ctv.ca, and please put Pick of the Day in the subject line. You can also scan the QR code to help you out.
Still to come on CTV News, a blast from the past, the store that takes you back in time. A pair of collectors turned antique store owners in Alberta are ready to part with their entire collection that's taken them years to accumulate. They're hoping to find a buyer for their entire store who's able to form a connection with the community. CTV's Curtis Goodrum takes us inside.
50 kilometers south of Edmonton, on the main street of Kalmar, sits yesterday's treasure. An antique store with thousands of items.
This is one of my favorite stores.
The best store in Kalmar?
Yes, it is.
It began 8 years ago after the owners emptied their house.
We had been passionate collectors for so many years. We had a house full of treasure, and we didn't ever sell anything.
The store is a treasure hunt of sorts, with items ranging from anvils to magazines and toys like this Raggedy Ann doll. The owners say their favorite part is unlocking memories.
It's when you walk around, you see an artifact that you remember from your childhood, from Grandma's house or your auntie's house, and you're immediately drawn back to that feeling you had.
A lot of the stuff that we sell in the store today was sold 70, 80 years ago in this very store.
While their passion for antiques remains, the owners are selling the store, lock, stock, and barrel, so they can focus on other projects. Aside from the asking price of $500,000, the next owner will have to meet one key requirement.
Whoever buys this place needs to share that passion, and honestly, we feel that that is a criteria, because this place will not succeed.
The owners say the store provides a space for the community.
It's about enjoying the quality of life that comes with the community that's based in relationships.
We love what we've brought to the community with it. We love that we've involved the community in it as well.
The owners hope yesterday's treasure will become someone else's treasure tomorrow. Curtis Goodrum, CTV News, Kalmar.
Still to come, we check in with the riders ahead of their next matchup. And later, the skywalk that goes the distance.
Here's what's happening in our community. The TD Sask Jazz Fest is underway and runs until Saturday. There are free shows and ticketed events. Artists, showtimes, and venue details are all online. As You Like It and Julius Caesar are this summer's offerings from the Shakespeare on the Saskatchewan Festival. You can catch these professional productions from July 14th to August 23rd. You can submit your community event by visiting our website and clicking on Community Calendar or scan the QR code on your screen. Okay, here we go with our rural forecast for Thursday, and things are looking warm. Well, warmer in some places because it's kind of cool in Lloydminster, 20 degrees, but then you don't go too far away. It jumps up to 26 in Kindersley, 25 for Outlook. A number of other communities sort of hovering around that 23-degree mark. 24 degrees for Hudson Bay, but Hudson Bay comes with a little bit of instability, a chance of a shower, risk of a thunderstorm. Wynyard, 23 degrees, and then we make our way down south where no one's hitting 30, but we're close. In Coronach at 29, 28 in Maple Creek. We have 27 in Leader and Rockland, and a number of other places, in fact, as we take a look at what's going on there. Kenora, chance of some showers right now, rather tomorrow, but if you take a look at what's going on in Manor tomorrow, 27 degrees, mainly cloudy skies, a nice southwesterly wind at 20 kilometers an hour, and of course Manor is one of those places where internet plans of up to 1 gig are available from SaskTel.
Welcome to another edition of X's and O's with West Cates. The Riders enter this week's game with a 3-1 record after that victory in Ottawa against the Hamilton Tiger Cats, who do not have Bo Levi Mitchell. Suffered that long-term injury last week, so you're going to get either Trey Ford or Jake Dolegala. That's a way better situation than Bo Levi. He was having an MVP season.
Yeah, Bo Levi's been playing some good ball, and he's definitely somebody that you don't want to have to face if you don't have to. I think the Riders would have probably rather see Hamilton at their best, but hey, we got Trey Ford or Jake Dolegala. I know the defensive players and the Riders in general have some history with Jake, with him being here for a couple of years, and then you look at Trey Ford. Trey Ford has really had some success against the Riders when he's played them, and especially in Saskatchewan. So it'll be interesting to see how things shake up. We know Trey Ford was listed as the backup to Bo Levi Mitchell, but maybe they're just playing it by whoever has the better week of prep at practice this week for Hamilton.
Yeah, Josh Bell should have some interesting schemes defensively for Trey Ford, because he's fast and he can throw the long ball, but it just seems a lot of times he's making wrong decisions, and that could be key for what he sets up. And defensively, hey, they had some great stands in that fourth quarter against Ottawa, getting some good push from the line, and that's good to see because it's been a bit of an issue.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing that the Riders defense doesn't have to see Bo Levi Mitchell, because actually Hamilton's defense has been playing some good ball too. The Riders have been working through some little kinks here and there, but they seem to have taken a step in the right direction. All it be against Ottawa, but Hamilton's defense is also tops in the league as far as points against. I think they're up there in sacks, and their linebacking core has been getting tackles all over the place. So it's definitely going to be a tough one for the Rider offense. We'll see if the defense can step up and make some plays to help the offense out.
And if that offense can have the lead, though, my goodness, he is your Mariano Rivera of the New York Yankees, the closer. Tommy Stevens, as a running back, I mean, he's not making the great cuts, but you got to be pretty impressed with how he's able to get some 12 yards even on a sneak.
Yeah, no, I mean, if you think about NFL guys, like Taysom Hill from, the Saints, or even you go back to Cam Newton back in his heyday, that's what you see with the Tommy Stevens. He's a smart guy. He understands the blocking schemes, and he's looking to take it the distance. So it's not like he's just trying to fall forward and get the first down. He's trying to make plays out there, and he did a great job of it finishing off Ottawa last week. I mean, they really couldn't do anything with him. With that extra blocker coming from the running back position and then adding Tommy Stevenson into the run game, Tommy Stevens into the run game. Sorry. Yeah, it was great. I wish we could see more of it. It might open up the offense even more.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they kind of add a little more Tommy Stevens, say in the first 3 quarters, to see if it can help out with the running. Connolly's been great too, but we'll see what happens against Hamilton. It's going to be a hot one, folks. So if you're going to this game, get ready to drink lots of water, as it could feel like it's in the 40s by the time this is kickoff. And we'll tell you what happens and look at the bye week coming up on another edition of X's and O's.
Air Canada has named its next CEO.
It is an honor to have been chosen to lead this major carrier, to continue implementing its growth strategy and to pave the way for an even brighter future.
Anko van der Werf will represent the presidency and chief executive officer position of Air Canada by the end of January 2027. His predecessor, Michael Rousseau, is set to retire at the end of August. Rousseau was widely criticized after he delivered an English-only message following a deadly collision between an Air Canada plane and a fire truck at New York's LaGuardia Airport earlier this year. Air Canada says its incoming CEO speaks Dutch and is able to communicate in both French and English. Another big announcement coming from Alberta today. The province has won a contract to build a data center for a major American tech company. Morella Fernandez reports.
The province will be home to a new $13 billion data center for Meta. Alberta's energy resources make it ideal for energy-intense projects like data centers. This one will be built in Sturgeon County, just north of Edmonton. The center will run mostly on natural gas, and the province says it will generate about $250 million a year for Alberta. Meta will also invest about $60 million to upgrade the local infrastructure. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is up to 70.60. West Texas Intermediate up over $3 to 73.52. Western Canadian Select up over $2 to 55.27. And the TSX lost 336 points today. Those are your business headlines. I'm Morella Fernandez.
Turning to local gas prices now, the average price in Saskatoon is just over $1.61 a litre. The lowest price in town is $1.49.9. On Saskatchewan markets, Cameco finished the day down at $134.26. The Nutrien was up. Coming up, the mystery dropped from the sky. Then the walk that will take you to new heights.
Select Hair Services brought to you by Sage, the beauty bar.
Stay with us. We've got another full night of great shows for you right here tonight on CTV. Well, a mystery on an Australian beach has been solved. Several of these unidentified objects were found on a beach in the northeastern part of the country last week. The Australian Space Agency says they are likely pressure vessels from a space launch. It says the location and characteristics of the so-called space balls are consistent with debris from a foreign rocket. The agency is working with international authorities to confirm its theory. So stay tuned.
Yeah, likely story.
Well, we'll get you to do your own research. For now, I think you might like this.
I did some internet research, and this is what I found out.
A massive skywalk has opened in southwestern China. This is in downtown Changqing. It's 300 meters long and winds down a 69-meter vertical drop. It also includes a massive viewing platform for visitors to take in the rest of the historic city. Temperatures usually hover around the high 30s at this time of year there, so people probably want to pace themselves, drink some water, wear their sunscreen.
Yes, I know. I've learned my lesson. And
I've always told you to wear your sunscreen.
I know you have. I know you have.
All year.
I know, year-round.
All the time.
It's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. It's a good idea. It's a good idea. Yes, that looks pretty spectacular. Is the forecast spectacular? Depends on who you talk to, but it's going to be warm. We can tell you that we do have some thunderstorm watches and warnings in effect, and some tornado watches are still in effect for parts of western Saskatchewan. Those areas blocked in yellow are severe thunderstorm warnings. So stay careful. Be careful.
Thanks for watching.